Hey, good morning, guys. It's Donald and Mary, and we're here to bring you your morning weather, water, and trail chatter report. And so this morning, Mary's going to start with the water and weather, and then I have a little bit of trail chatter to talk about some news going on around the world for hiker news. Okay, so Mary's going to start right now.
All right, thank you, Donald.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Right now in Blairsville, it's 53 degrees with some fog. We're looking at a high of 81 today. It will be partly cloudy, and then tonight 55 and mostly clear. Winds will be light and variable. And then up on Blood Mountain today, 73 degrees, mostly sunny, and tonight 56, mostly clear. Winds are 5 miles per hour today and tonight. Water is good for the most part on the trail. Make sure you're topping off, and I'm talking as you're hiking north. Top off at Hawk Mountain Shelter. You won't have water again until Justice Creek, which is 6.2 miles. Slaughter did have some water as you're making your way to Blood Mountain. That's just before you climb Blood. Make sure you check it and see if there's anything. I would suggest topping off your water before then, just in case. And then Neil Gap, make sure you're carrying water out of there because Neil to Hogpen is dry. And then remember, it's time of year for snakes. The copperhead's up in the nest and Cow Rock under those boulders. That's 5 miles north of Neil Gap. Rattlesnakes too. Up in the Great Smoky Mountains, we're looking at US 441 Newfound Gap Road. That's still closed on the Tennessee side for repairs between Sugarlands and Newfound Gap. They do project it to be open on or before September 30th this year. And the Cherokee side of North Carolina is open. Bears in the Smokies, all the trails and shelters are open. The closed campsites are 18, 23, 57, and 96. Warnings are Trillium Gap and Ramsey Cascades Trail, Campsite 113, and the Russellfield Shelter. It's that time of year. We have Oktoberfest going on in Helen, Georgia right now. In September, we're looking at it being 11th through the 14th, and then the 18th through the 21st, and then daily from September 25th through November 2nd. Helen also has the Georgia Mountain Coaster, and in the warmer months it does have the tubing. Go on and check out the German food and German beer. It's a popular little place. All right, Donald, I'm turning it over to you now. Talk about some other stuff that's going on out here and around us.
All right, awesome. Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
All right, and so an Alabama man is recovering after being airlifted out of a forest for a snake bite. It's every hiker's first worst nightmare.
Right.
All right, and so an Alabama hiker is on the mend after an afternoon of father-son bonding turned into a terrifying ordeal last week. On September 4th, Tyler Roach was hiking in the Sipsey Wilderness part of Bankhead National Forest with his father when he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his left calf. When he turned to look at his leg, Roach was greeted by what he said was every hiker's worst nightmare. According to Roach's GoFundMe page, he saw a large copperhead snake attached to his calf. We were in an area with no cell phone coverage, leaving us with no option other than to hike out. A hike I ultimately would not be able to complete, the page reads. The Lawrence County Sheriff's Office was notified about 3 p.m. Thursday via a 911 call that a man was bitten near the big tree, as Al.com reported previously. The department's multi-agency search and rescue team was immediately activated. Upon arrival at the trailhead, deputies met with Roach's father, who had hiked out to call for help. The SAR team hiked into the forest and found Roach, who was experiencing multiple symptoms, including vomiting, swelling, and abdominal pain from a snake bite to the lower leg. Authorities believe Roach was bitten by a rattlesnake, but have not confirmed, Sheriff Max Sanders told Al.com previously. An IV was started and initial medications were administered on site. So ALEA Aviation provided air support for communication between SAR team and command center. The extraction helicopter, however, was unavailable because of maintenance, officials told Al.com previously. The rescue, which Roach said involved over 12 agencies and groups, took roughly 8 hours, according to Sanders. Roughly 10 hours of it After being bitten around 11 p.m., I would be carried via med air to the hospital to receive treatment, Roach's GoFundMe reads. I was out of the woods, but the fight was far from over. For 5 days, Roach experienced allergic reactions to antivenom, extreme dehydration, severe muscle damage, and the threat of kidney failure, according to his page. But as of this week, he has started physical therapy. The doctors say that things are looking up, but the road to recovery will be very long and a slowly progressing one, leaving me unsure of when I will be able to return to work, with estimates in several months, he wrote. Not only for the unseen medical bills from day-to-day expenses through lengthy recovery, I'm able to return to work and be back on both my feet.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta be super careful out there, man. But I mean, shit happens, period, you know?
That's right.
Fucking scary.
Somebody probably walked by that snake or something already, made it angry, and he
Pissed
took
it
it
off.
out on him.
Yeah, it could have, man. That's completely, definitely, definitely, all right, hold on here. All right, definitely can happen to just to anyone, you know what I mean? Next, I'm glad that he is doing better.
That's right.
All right, and so hiker rescues in Hawaii. So Kauai, I'm gonna call it Kauai. County officials drew a sharper line this week on what counts as an emergency after airlifting a 59-year-old visitor from the Kala Lau Trail. The county issued a press release saying that hiker fatigue is not a life-threatening condition. So hiker rescues in Hawaii, man, they're saying, when will you pay? Like a lot of other places are starting to say, hey, man, it's out of control. People are just walking up in and calling when they don't feel like they can walk up over the mountain, instead of resting a little bit. Because they're saying that most people that they're rescuing, when they get them down to the parking area or down to the trailhead, they're not going to the hospital. They're hopping in their car and taking off, man. And so this is another article talking about should people have to pay. And so they're saying hiker fatigue is not. That's not a reason why someone should be calling search and rescue to pick them up, man. It costs a lot of money. Plus, it takes away from other things, man. Like, there could be other important rescues that really demand or the life-threatening issues going, or life-threatening issues that other people may be experiencing that need an actual rescue with a helicopter and stuff, because they don't just have a bunch of helicopters to send out. They have to coordinate all this stuff, man. And so
This, I think, is good for, people doing research on where they're going, knowing their limits and planning their hikes. That way they're not calling just because I'm too tired and I don't feel like walking back out.
that's right, man. And so Fire Chief Michael Gibson emphasized that every launch of the rescue helicopter poses a risk to the pilot, firefighters, and those on the ground. The statement underscored a growing concern that 911 is being used for non-emergencies, and raised again the question of who should bear the cost when rescues in Hawaii go wrong. And it's not just in Hawaii. This is happening everywhere, especially if people listen to our news report. Camelback Mountain is a hot spot, man. It's a hot spot for this stuff, man. Every single day, man. And so, according to the county's release, a Texas visitor called for help on Monday morning because she did not believe she could climb back over the ridge after hiking along the Napali coast. The Kala Lau Trail runs 11 miles along steep cliffs and valleys and is considered one of Hawaii's most beautiful but dangerous hikes, with conditions that can change quickly. I'm gonna go back to influencers and people putting stuff online, just showing the beautiful views, and people want to get there, but they don't see the 11 miles before that. It's not just 11 miles. It's if they have to hike back out, it's 22
That's
miles. I don't know
right.
if that's an end to, like, you can get out on the trailhead up on 11 miles, or if it gets up to a beautiful vista and you have to walk back down. I don't know. I don't know the details of this trail, but if they do have to walk back out, that is 22 miles. And if you are an older person and you don't hike and you're on vacation in Hawaii and you just think, oh, I'm going to go hike 11 miles up this
Right.
trail, man. And you see it online, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And then you read the flyers, it's a beautiful vista, but it's 11-mile strenuous hike. And people just ignore the strenuous part. All they want to do is get out there, get to that vista, and for whatever reasons, because they want to get up on top of a beautiful place or see a beautiful area, for whatever reasons, they think that they can do it, and then they get out there and they get into these situations, and the next thing you know, they're starting down 911 and get themselves in a predicament that they don't know how to get out of because they're not experienced, or they don't have the energy, or they're too old, or they're dehydrated, or they just don't know. They don't have the right footwear. They don't have the proper equipment. They don't. I mean, there's just a million things, man. Just a million things. Or they had a underlying medical condition that they just ignored and went out anyways, and then that underlying condition, shows itself because you're pushing your body and you're not supposed to. Anyways, all right. And so, according to counties released that Texas, we read about that woman actually the other day. So, crews dispatched the Air 1 helicopter to retrieve her from the trail. The county noted that she was not injured, but was tired and uncertain if she could continue. Chief Gibson pointed to the exhaustion calls as an increasing problem with hikers and not a valid reason for costly and dangerous air extraction. Officials also note that many of those airlifted in the past have declined medical treatment once back on the ground. So this raises questions about whether the call ever met a standard for emergency in the first place. The incident follows others on Kalalau in recent months where hikers underestimated conditions. In one earlier case, 50 people were stranded overnight. I think we read that one. After heavy rains made the Hanakaipai stream crossing impassable. Each rescue ties up firefighters and aircraft that could otherwise be used for medical transports for fire suppression. The law that already exists, what many do not realize is that Kauai already has the authority to bill for rescues. In 2015, the county adopted an ordinance allowing recovery of costs when a person acted with intentional disregard for safety. That replaced the stricter gross negligence language in state law and was meant to give Kauai broader discretion. In practice, the law has rarely, if ever, been enforced. The county states that it has collected reimbursement only a handful of times in the past decade, typically in small amounts covering fuel and overtime. Other states, such as New Hampshire, have used similar laws for far more aggressively, with hikers billed hundreds or even thousands of dollars when ignoring posted warnings. Hawaii has debated following that path, but repeated proposals at the legislature have failed to advance. Lawmakers and fire officials disagree on whether charging would prevent rescues or only make people hesitate to call until it's too late. Why this moment feels different on Kauai. The difference this week is a new tone. The county itself, in an official release, declared that fatigue is not a valid emergency. By calling out fatigue directly, Kauai officials set a sharper boundary than ever before. It comes as the county's Air 1 helicopter continues to respond questionable calls multiple times each month, linking the risk to pilot and crew safety gives the debate urgency that pure cost arguments lacks. Who pays and who should pay? Your past comments on Beat Hawaii have revealed a split. Some readers say that anyone who ignores closures, hikes off trails, or fails to bring water should pay the price. Yeah, I think so, man. It'll make people think before they, strike out on a hike, man. Others argue that the rescue is a public service no different than fire or police, that charging will make tragedies even more likely. Critics also warn that billing could cause hikers with real injuries to delay calling 911, making rescues harder and sometimes deadlier. This numbers show that a majority of rescues involve visitors, but residents are often part of the picture too. That is why the law applies to everyone. Framing it as only a visitor issue overlooks the complexity of who is actually in need of help. So, they should maybe charge people. If you're inexperienced, they should have people to guide them on these trails, and they probably do. They probably do have people that do guiding, but it might be a cheaper way of avoiding these issues that are happening. People just calling when they're too tired, or because they don't understand what they're getting into and get out there and they're over their heads. So the next thing you know, they're jingling 911, man, and yeah, it's unfortunate, but that is becoming an issue. All right. And so I want to read one more article here, and this is a body that has been recovered at the Columbia River Gorge waterfall. It's confirmed to be the missing hiker that's been missing. It looks like that it was a young man. So shortly after a hiker was reported missing, a separate 911 caller reported a body being recovered in the same general area. And so in Portland, Oregon, a body recovered near Wisendanger Falls in Columbia River Gorge is confirmed to be the missing 49-year-old hiker, reported overdue Wednesday morning. Around 8:15 a.m., Multnomah County Sheriff's Office received multiple reports of a hiker that was overdue on their return. A short time later, a separate 911 caller reported a body being recovered from the base of Wisendanger Falls along the Larch Mountain Trail, the same general area where the hiker was reported missing, the sheriff said. The incidents were initially being treated as separate cases. The sheriff's office has since confirmed to KGW that the body recovered is the missing hiker, that it appears that the hiker accidentally fell. Search and rescue teams, as well as medical examiners, responded, then recovered the body, which was transported to the upper parking lot at the Multnomah Falls, where the hiker's dad confirmed his identity. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office said the hiker, after getting lost on the trail, placed a distress signal to his dad around 7 p.m. Tuesday, but never made it back to the trailhead. His dad then tried to navigate him safely by using the map on his phone, but a short time later, they got disconnected. The father then drove to Multnomah Falls with a flashlight, attempting to search for his son. He reported his son missing Wednesday morning. He fell a couple times, had some dirt and blood on his pants, but he wanted to come and find his son. MCSO's Deputy John Plock told KGW, hiker's identity has not been released, guys, giving the family time to make notifications. So more to come on that story. An unfortunate, man.
Sure is.
All right, and so that's what we have for today, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on out here, man. I'm just looking, and it's just one thing after another when it comes to people getting themselves into bad situations and needing to call for hiker rescue. Now, it happens. We just need to be more aware of our limitations before stepping foot on a trail, and understand what's going on when you step foot on that trail, meaning like where does the trail lead you? Is there any points that you can get off? You just need to know the layout of the plan, basically.
That's right.
All right, and so today we have a couple shuttles. Jordan's going to be up the gap, man, and then I'm gonna be here. And all right, sorry about that. We had a little issue there, some stuff coming through on the phone. But we had multiple calls yesterday, so people checking in, finding out what's going on. We have people coming back from last year, man, that are coming up and doing their thing, man. So lots of good things going on out here. It's super nice weather, man. I mean, it's gorgeous out, just gorgeous. Anyways, if anyone needs anything at all, man, give us a jingle. Did you have anything else you wanted to say, Ma?
No, I'm gonna get pictures and videos today as I go about my day. It's gorgeous out, like Donald was saying, and I'm looking forward to the day.
Sweet, man. All right, guys, if anyone needs anything at all, give us a jingle, man. One love, peace. Thank you.